Hi, my name is Kaylin, and what is up? We're going to be reacting to a time when quick thinking probably saved my life, TikTok trend. Now, I've never seen these. Let's see what we can learn.
Girls, tell me about a time where your quick thinking probably saved your life.
So a couple months ago at the gas station, I went in, paid, came out, and there was this man that was trying to make small talk, like, hey, how are you, how's your day, you look nice, etc. I was in a rush and I wasn't in the mood, so I just said thanks and kept walking past him. As I was walking to my car, I realized I forgot my debit card, so I ran back in to go get it. For some reason, my gut said do not lose sight of that man, so I kept turning around, even looked at him through the glass when I was inside the gas station. I'm not sure if he thought I couldn't see him, but he literally went the opposite side of my car and crouched. So I always keep my taser slash pepper spray with me. So when I walked back out, I went, confronted him, and told him he had to.
Yo, this is unfortunately very true. I guess just as a woman, I and just like other women and probably other people just in general, not only women, but I just tend to definitely think about it with women. You have to be very, very, very aware of your surroundings. Very, like, as soon as I get in my car, I immediately lock it. Just immediately. Like, and I also sometimes looked like a fool when I was leaving university, and I would just run if it was dark out. Like, I'd literally run in my car. But, you know, I was safe, and I don't know, you really gotta be careful. Anyway, let's go. I wonder what your tip is.
To leave, or I would call the cops. He told me America's a free country, so he can stand wherever he pleases. Luckily, this really nice guy saw everything from start to finish, had a word with him. The man ended up leaving, and the guy stayed with me until I finished pumping my gas.
Wow, that's nice.
As I said thank you to the guy that helped me, he said I'm lucky that my doors were locked because the guy tried opening my back doors.
Girls, tell me about a time where your quick thinking probably saved your life.
So I'm an Instacart shopper, and that's where people place their groceries online, and I basically go and I shop it for them and I deliver it to their house. I never really thought of it as dangerous until this.
It can be if you have to go in the house.
So I was delivering to a lady, and she wrote in the instructions to meet me at the door, and usually they just say to meet me at the door. So I walk up to her, I immediately get bad vibes from her. She has long, tangly, gray hair. She's wearing a nightgown. She looks like a witch, basically, and I was like, So I hand the bags to her, and she's like, oh, actually, do you think you could go up those stairs and go in that door on the right and just set them in there?
No.
It was like an old, creepy apartment complex type of thing.
No.
Her husband was standing up there at the top of the stairs.
Do not go in.
Immediately in my head, I was like, oh my god, I'm about to get kidnapped. So I was like, oh, I actually don't think I'm supposed to. And she goes, no, yeah, you are.
No.
I just gave them to her. I ran to my car. I was shaking and crying because I literally almost got kidnapped.
Girls, tell me about a time where your quick thinking probably saved your life.
Ooh boy, this one's a doozy. In college, I went to a party with my best friend. It was in an apartment building on the second floor. This is going to be important in a minute. She met up with her boyfriend there. I met up with a guy that I was literally just dating. Like, I think I had been on one date with him previously. And he started drinking a few beers, and he was getting really handsy, and it was making me really uncomfortable. Like, he was forcing me to sit in his lap. Like, he was yanking me down by my arm, forcing me to sit in his lap. And he was getting increasingly hostile and angry as the night went on.
God.
I knew he was not going to let me leave, and nobody at the party was paying very much attention to how disgusting and weird he was being. So I grabbed my best friend and went out on the balcony with her. I told him that we were going to go have girl talk for a minute. I quite literally said to her, hold my beer. I climbed over the side of the balcony, and I jumped off the balcony onto a patch of grass below and ran to my car.
Damn!
Y'all.
Girls, tell me about a time where your quick thinking probably saved your life.
Woo!
So the year is 2015, and I am walking back from Lollapalooza to the train station. I realize at some point in time that there are these guys across the street, and they keep kind of yelling at me and like saying things, but I just kind of ignored them. At some point in time, I realized that they're walking parallel to me. And after the fourth or fifth time I look over at them, I realize that they're not there anymore. So I do a 360 just to make sure that I'm not completely alone, and I wasn't, because they were about a block behind me. I get into the train station.
Look, I'm very appreciative to the people, and often men, because it is often that are helpful and that are good, because many of y'all be just a menace. I'm not saying even most, no. No, I'm well aware of that. But, like, ugh. Anyway, again, most of y'all are great. Wonderful. Keep it up. Just saying. You never know, right? That's why a lot of times we're so, like, okay, very anxious, paranoid, everything, because it's like, you never know. You never know who's going to be that creepy person. That's just, like, let's move forward.
And like a beacon of God, these two girls are coming down the escalator. They're about my like age, and they look totally normal. And I run up to one of them, and I'm like, "Oh my God, Jessica! I haven't seen you since soccer camp." I don't know Jessica. I went to soccer.
Yeah,
camp.
if that happened, I'd be like, yes.
And these
I
girls
just go along with
went
it.
along with
Absolutely.
It. They picked right up on it.
Y'all
This was
go along with
2015.
it.
This was before we started to have some of these conversations, and they went right with me. The two guys turned around and they left the train station, and those girls may have saved my life.
That's what you would need to do.
Girls, tell me about a time where your quick thinking probably saved your life.
So my freshman year of high school, I was in band, and we took a trip to Disney. And the first day of the Disney trip was a water park day, and I was in a group of 3 other girls, and I'd use the restroom. So we decided they would just wait for me, and we'd go on with our trip.
The fact that she has these
did not
pictures.
tell me. I don't have my phone. I'm super confused. I don't know who my friends are. But there's this lady in there, and she is staring at me. And I was like, I thought I'd never get kidnapped, because I was fat
Oh my
and
God,
ugly.
these pictures.
Wrong. This lady's like, sweetheart, there's something wrong with your suit. Like, I need to fix it for you. I was like, and then she starts touching me really, really weird. And then I was like, trying to get around her, trying to go to the sinks, whatever. She's trying to usher me out. She's like, no, we need to get you another suit. There's 3 men standing out there who are not wearing swimsuits. And then this girl comes out of one of the stalls, and then I start acting like I know this girl. I'm like, this lady says there's something wrong with my suit. Can you check? She played along and probably saved my life, because that lady and the men left.
We have to say,
Girls,
we
tell
have
me about a
to,
time where your quick thinking probably saved your life.
Okay, I know I look like a hot mess, but I really wanted to tell the story. So it's about 2 a.m. and I'm driving home on the Lodge in Detroit, and I was driving in the middle lane going about 70, and then I noticed that there was a car in the left lane that was driving parallel to me, and like they were matching my speed. So I decided to slow down to like 50 just to see if they would match too, and they did. And then I decided to go like 85 just to see if they would match then too, and they were. And then I noticed that up ahead, like 200 yards, there was a car that was just dead stopped in the same lane that I was in. And the lights were on and everything like that.
I wonder where this
starting to freak out. I
was.
was like, I don't know what to do because they're blocking me on the left side.
Yes.
And then there's a car in the middle lane.
I've watched some
but
of these
I quickly
things
got in the
before.
right lane and started going like,
And those compilations where it's like, I mean, I'm not like, I don't have prejudice or whatever. I'm just saying that oftentimes it happens in Mexico, especially if you have like a more wealthy looking car. That shit's so scary. Oh my gosh.
120 just to get home because I like had such a bad feeling. Then when I got home, my brother told me like the craziest thing, and I just like I couldn't believe it. I'll tell you in the next part. Sorry.
Girls, tell me about a time
No,
where
I
your
wanna
quick
see the next
thinking
part.
probably saved your life.
This one time I was in Target and this girl my age came up to me and she told me I looked super familiar and she started being like, where do I know you from? Like, what high school did you go to? Whatever. And I told her and she was keeping up a lot of conversation, started talking about her and her husband's marketing company. And then we were making more small talk and I told her I was in college and she very quickly ended the conversation and just continued on. And I had this weird gut feeling. And about 5 minutes later,
Oh my
I
God.
overheard her in another
Was she
aisle
too
talking
old?
to another girl, but they were exchanging phone numbers to meet up for coffee to talk about a job opportunity with her marketing company. So I stopped the girl and I asked her, I was like, what did she say to you? And she said that she came up to her and said she looked really familiar and had a conversation that was nearly identical to mine, except she was still.
Good job going up to the
So I
girl.
was too old, and it turned
Yes.
out she was in human trafficking and
Yes.
had been all over in different stores around the area.
Girls, tell me about a time where your quick thinking probably saved your life.
Okay, so when I was 19,
It's good that these videos are going around also.
it was kind of a far drive. My gas light was already going off, so I knew I had to go get gas soon. All of a sudden, I get this really bad feeling in my stomach, and I got like that sixth sense where you can just tell someone's glaring at you. And so I turn over and I see a 50-year-old man who was so creepy, just like literally staring at me. He rolled down his window. He's trying to talk to me, and I was like really creeped out, just so like, ugh. And anyways, I sped up, he sped up, I slowed down, he slowed down, and so I was like, this guy is following me. Like, and I didn't want to go home because I was like, I don't want him to know where I live. Also, I was running out of gas, so I called my dad, he didn't answer, so I called the guy friend. I was like, you have to meet me at the Target, like I'm running out of gas, and I'm really scared, and this guy's following me. I go into the Target, the guy literally follows me into the Target through the aisles, he's literally like right behind me. Luckily, my friend was there, and everything's fine.
Basically,
Y'all, good Samaritans out here, if you see any of this crazy shit going on, just like, I don't know, just try to be aware of it and maybe just like act like you know them or something if it's really needed. Because this is just, it's so sad.
12 years old, and my distant cousins came to visit, and I was super shy around them since I barely knew them. So I decided to go on a walk, and on this walk there is a mile or so stretch of road, and then there's a bridge with a creek underneath. So I'm at the creek just taking pictures and enjoying the weather because it was very nice out. And all of a sudden, this white truck drives very slowly past me, maybe like 20 miles per hour. That road was like 50 miles per hour. I was like, okay, that's a little weird. Stayed at the creek for maybe like 30 minutes.
Why are they
In
both
that
speaking at
time,
once?
The truck comes back around another time. And each time, he starts to get gradually more and more slow. So at this point, he has come by 4 times, almost stopping to see me. I called my mom, and my older cousin ended up picking me up, but I thought I was going to get kidnapped.
Girls, tell me about a time where your quick thinking probably saved your life. I'll go first. 2 years ago, I was walking my dog at the park, and a man approached me and asked to take a picture of her. And I said yes, because why not? It's a picture of a dog. So he started taking a picture of my dog, and then I realized that he was like holding up her collar, and then it hit me. My address is on that collar. He's not taking a picture of my dog, he's taking a picture of my address. So I told him that I actually didn't feel comfortable with him having a picture of my dog, and I asked him to delete it. So he deletes it, and then like starts walking away really fast. And I was like, excuse me, sir, no, could you also go into your deleted album and delete it from there? And he goes, I don't have a deleted album. And I was like, you have an iPhone. Everybody has a deleted album. Could you please delete the picture? And he was like, sorry, I don't have a deleted album. And like keeps walking away. And keep in mind, this is like 2 PM in a park. Like there's other people around. So now I'm like chasing after him. And I'm telling him, sir, I know you have the album. I will show you where the album is. Can you please go onto your phone so that we can delete the picture? Oh, part two. I'm sorry for the delay. So I'm still chasing after him, and people at the park are like starting to look at us now because I'm chasing after him and I'm telling him to stop walking. And so he stops, and I tell him again to delete the photo from the deleted album, and he goes, I don't have a deleted album. And I was like, yes, you do. Everybody does. It'll take 10 seconds. And he goes, fine. And he like goes in his phone and does something for a second. He goes, there, it's gone. And I was like, could I see the deleted album just to make sure it's gone? And he goes, no, you can't look at my phone. And I was like, I don't want to look at your phone. I just want to see the album just to make sure the picture is gone. That's it. And he goes, no, you're not going to look at my phone.
Oh my
And I was like,
gosh.
sir, I'm not going to stop and I'm not going to leave until you show me the album. So please just show me the album so we can be done with this. So he shows me the album. The picture was still there. So I made him delete it in front of my eyes. What if I hadn't noticed that he took a picture of my address? And what if I went home that day and, you know, that night when I took my dog out to pee, he was outside waiting for me? I mean...
You guys, the story is for anyone that has a dog, specifically women. Please listen up, it could literally save your life. So my roommate has a dog, and she usually walks it at this park near our house. However, the dog's a little bit injured right now, so she hasn't taken it to the park in like 2 weeks. And also note that the dog's collar has her phone number on it. So yesterday she happened to be working from home, but around 2-3 p.m. normally when she would be at work, she gets a call, and it's this guy, and he's like, hey, I'm at this park, the one that she normally walks her dog at, and I found your dog. He's alone, he's not on his leash, like he doesn't seem like he's with anyone. And I just thought I would call, like, I got your number from his collar, saying she needs to go, like, meet him and pick him up. But she was home with the dog, and hadn't even been to that park in weeks. So essentially what we're thinking is, this guy saw her at the park a few weeks back, maybe the dog came up to him, and he wrote down her phone number, waited a little bit, called on a weekday at a time where she'd normally be at work, because if she was at work, she would have rushed right to the park. His plan was probably for her to go to the park and him to watch her from, like, his car or something, and then once she noticed the dog wasn't there, he probably was going to follow her home. We got lucky, but please be careful.
Why are there so many, oh my god, predators? Oh. Good for that guy, honestly. Wow.
What is a time that you listened to your intuition and it saved your life? Here's mine. I was driving with my daughter, who is now 25. She was about maybe 9 months at the time. She was in her car seat on the right-hand side. I had stopped at a red light, and I heard, when the light turns green, don't go. And I thought, why am I hearing this? This is crazy. And so the light turned green, and I went to go, and I heard, don't go. And I was like, I have to go. The car behind me started honking. I thought, this is so stupid. I need to go. So I went and pressed on the gas, and I heard, don't go. A yellow car is going to come barreling through their red light, and they're going to hit you. And sure enough, here went this yellow car through the red light, and the car behind me went, oh my God. And I waved back, and then I took a deep breath, and after that car went, I went ahead and went. But I listened to my intuition after that. So what's your story?
This is why waking up late might just save
What?
your life. One day when I was in elementary
I have
school,
so
my
many
mom and my brother
questions.
slept, which meant I wouldn't be ready in time to get
How
on the
did that
bus.
woman know?
School started at 8. My bus pickup time was at 7, and it was already 6:40.
She like see
or
that
something.
before?
I was still in my PJs and hadn't even had breakfast yet. My mom decided that today we would just tell the bus driver to go on ahead, and she would take me to school, which would give me plenty of time to get ready. It's 6:50, I'm in my PJs, eating breakfast, and that's when we hear the bus pull up 10 minutes earlier than scheduled. My mom peeks her head out of the door into the foggy morning and waves the bus on. She closed the door and came back inside, but the bus didn't pull away. There's a knock at the door, and my mom opens it to find a man in a bus driver uniform. He explains he's a substitute bus driver because the regular driver called in sick, and that he's early because he wanted to get an early start on my route. My mom says she's taking me to school because we woke up late. He gets visibly upset and says he can wait a few minutes since he's already ahead of schedule. My mom says
Whoa,
she'll
no.
wait a few minutes and tells him to go on ahead. He
No.
seemed really angry about this, but turned around, got back on the bus, and left. But at 7 a.m., another bus pulls up to my house. My mom went out to talk to them and came back looking terrified. Part 2 of why sleeping in might just save your life. After talking to the bus driver, my mom came back looking terrified, but she didn't say anything about it and told me to finish getting ready for school. At the time, I didn't know what happened, but my mom would end up telling me a few years later. When she went to the second bus, she found out it was being driven by my regular driver, and it was full of other kids that are usually on my route. By the way, the other bus was empty. My mom asked the driver about the substitute driver and about him calling in sick. He tells her that he never called in sick and there is no substitute driver on his route. The driver immediately called dispatch in a panic and told my mom to go inside and call the police and report this incident, which she did without me knowing at the time. There was absolutely no one doing my driver's route that day. Whoever this was most likely a kidnapper who had targeted me. I never heard anything about it again, not even if someone else had ended up being picked up by this mysterious fake bus driver. But chances are, had I gotten on my bus, I would never have made it to school or back home. And if we hadn't overslept on that specific day, I would have...
Girls, tell me about a time where your quick thinking probably saved your life.
This is the short version of how I got shot. So I'm sitting in a parking lot with my car backed in, but I kept the engine running.
Just be careful about anything that is different than what is typically the case. So yeah, if there's normally a bunch of people already on the bus when your bus driver gets there, and couple that with it's a different person and they're like, oh yeah, you got it.
Because I had a bad feeling about it, right? This dude walks up to my car. It's like 11 o'clock at night. So at first I thought it was my boyfriend because it was dark and he's dark skinned. And then I realized it was not him. Dude tries to open my door. It's locked. So he backs up, puts a shotgun to the door, and pulls the trigger. Now at that time I realized what he was about to do. I threw my car in drive just at the right moment. And I sped off and I just got hit with the... whatever the fuck, the shrapnel or whatever, instead of getting hit with the buckshot. Still lost the tooth.
Who was it? What was their motive? Like, what was just what?
But I ain't dead. I thought my head was gone.
I mean, great, but
still here.
Again, so many questions.
Ladies, listen up. These are some safety tips
want to read
that
that,
could potentially
pause.
save your life. It breaks my heart that I even have to make this video, but seeing as most of my followers are females, I need you to be safe and I need you to know these things. Number 1, if you're in a situation where you feel as if your safety is in danger, someone is grabbing you, they're trying to abduct you, or they're following you, I want you to draw as much attention to yourself as possible.
Literally
Scream,
yelling fire.
Bark. Bite them. Go absolutely crazy. If you are going for a run alone, It shouldn't be this way, and it honestly breaks my heart to say this, but be careful what you're wearing and try not to wear your hair in a ponytail. It's really easy to grab someone if they have a ponytail.
I think it's also,
it is illegal to carry
I think it's also really important to really be careful with where you're going to run alone, right? Or even with other people, but still. Like, when I was in New York City, I saw this girl running alone at night in, like, a side street, and I was like, it gave me so much anxiety. Oh, my goodness. So, just please be careful.
Pepper spray, but you can carry bear spray, and if you can't get that, get like a mini hairspray and spray the shit out of their eyes. Please be safe and never be alone. Please. These are personal safety tips that could literally save your life. You need to know this. Do not keep scrolling. Number 1, where there's light, there is sight. If you can't see what's going on around you, you should not be alone. It pains my body that I'm even saying this, but if you are a girl and you live alone, or you're a group of girls that live together, go to the thrift store, buy a big, huge pair of work boots that are visibly dirty, visibly used, and leave them outside your front door. It will tell the intruder that the big tough man is at home and they're less likely to invade your house. I know. If you are walking alone, you should not be texting on your phone.
This is so fast.
If someone is attacking you, don't worry about being kind. Your elbow is very strong. Smack them very hard.
Did anyone else learn in elementary school, like, the windmill trick?
Get that inner demon in your mind, you know what I'm talking about, and go crazy. Pee on them. Bark. Turn into a dog. Literally be possessed. Press the follow button if you want to see more personal safety tips.
What? Girls just dancing in the background. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I didn't have much reacting. I tried to put in some 2 cents and everything, but I don't know. For the most part, I was just listening. So, I hope you are doing well, and take care. Goodbye.